There is a moment in every person's life when they look in the mirror and ask themselves a painful question. Am I really becoming the person I was meant to become? Not the person people expect you to be. Not the person your circumstances forced you to become. But the person you secretly know you can become. Because deep inside every human being, there is a voice. A quiet voice that whispers when the world becomes silent. A voice that says, you are capable of more. You were not given this life just to survive. You were given this life to grow, to learn, to create, and to leave something meaningful behind. But here is what most people don't understand. Success is not lost in one big decision. Failure is not created overnight. Your future is built quietly in the small moments nobody sees. It is built when the alarm rings in the morning and you decide whether you will rise or remain comfortable. It is built when you face a difficult task and choose discipline over excuses. It is built when nobody is watching and you still choose to do what is right. Let me tell you something. Your life today is a reflection of the thoughts you repeated yesterday, the habits you practiced yesterday, and the choices you made yesterday. And your life tomorrow will be a reflection of what you choose today. Every morning you wake up, you are standing at the beginning of a new chapter. The past has already written its pages. You cannot go back and edit yesterday's mistakes. You cannot change the opportunities you missed. You cannot rewrite the conversations you wish you had, but you have something powerful in your hands. You have today. And today is where transformation begins. Think about this for a moment. The person who becomes successful and the person who remains stuck often wake up under the same sky. They face many of the same challenges. They experience disappointment, rejection, fear, and uncertainty. The difference is not that one person never struggles. The difference is what they tell themselves every morning before they step into the world. Because your first thoughts of the day become the direction of your day. If you wake up telling yourself, life is too difficult, your mind will search for reasons to give up. If you wake up telling yourself, I have challenges, but I also have the ability to overcome them, your mind begins searching for solutions. Your words create your focus. Your focus creates your actions create your habits, and your habits create your destiny. I learned something years ago. A person does not suddenly become successful. They become successful one decision at a time. Nobody wakes up one morning and magically becomes disciplined. Nobody wakes up one morning and suddenly has confidence. Nobody wakes up one morning and discovers that they have achieved every dream they ever imagined. Behind every achievement, there is a story nobody saw. There were mornings when that person did not feel motivated. There were nights when they questioned themselves. There were moments when quitting seemed easier, but they kept moving, not because they were always strong, not because they never felt fear, but because they understood something deeper. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret can last a lifetime. Let me ask you something. Which pain would you rather experience? The pain of waking up early while others sleep? The pain of learning while others waste time? The pain of staying focused while others chase distractions? Or the pain of looking back years from now and realizing you had potential but never used it? Because regret is a heavy burden. Regret is remembering the dream you abandoned. Regret is knowing you had the ability to become more, but you chose comfort instead. And comfort is dangerous when it becomes your permanent home. Comfort feels good today, but it can steal your tomorrow. Here's what most people don't understand. The enemy of success is not always failure. Sometimes the enemy of success is being comfortable with where you are. A seed cannot become a tree while remaining protected inside its shell. Growth requires pressure. Growth requires struggle. Growth requires stepping into the unknown. Look at nature. The strongest trees are not created in perfect conditions. They become strong because they face storms. Their roots grow deeper because they have experienced resistance. And human beings are the same. Every challenge you face has the potential to build something inside you. Every setback can teach you something. Every failure can become a lesson. Every disappointment can become a turning point. But only if you choose to learn from it. This is why every morning you must remind yourself of who you are becoming, not just who you are today, because your current situation is not your final destination. Maybe today you are struggling financially. Maybe today you are starting from zero. Maybe today nobody believes in your vision. Maybe today you feel like your progress is too slow. But remember this, a small step taken consistently can carry you farther than a giant step taken once. The compound effect is one of the greatest laws of life. A single drop of water seems insignificant, but thousands of drops can carve through stone. A single page of reading seems small, but thousands of pages can transform your knowledge. One healthy choice seems small, but repeated every day, it can transform your body and your energy. One positive thought seems small, but repeated every morning, it can transform your identity. Never underestimate the power of small actions repeated over time. The person who improves 1% every day will eventually become unrecognizable, because success is not about one extraordinary moment. Success is about ordinary moments handled with extraordinary commitment. Every morning, remind yourself, I am responsible for my future. Not your past, not your circumstances, not other people's opinions. Your future is shaped by your choices. There are people who started with nothing and built something incredible because they refused to surrender their belief. There are people who were told they were not good enough, not talented enough, not experienced enough, but they kept working. They kept learning. They kept improving. They understood that potential means nothing without action. A dream without discipline is only a wish. A goal without effort is only a fantasy. A vision without consistency is only an imagination. You must become the person capable of carrying the future you desire. Because success does not come to the person who simply wants it. Success comes to the person who prepares for it. The question is not only, what do you want? The deeper question is, who must you become to achieve it? Think about the person you admire. Maybe it is someone successful in business. Maybe it is someone who built an amazing career. Maybe it is someone who overcame incredible obstacles. You see their results, but you do not always see their process. You see the victory. You do not see the years of preparation. You see the achievement. You do not see the sacrifices. You see the confidence. You do not see the battles they fought with doubt. Every successful person has a hidden story. And the difference between ordinary and extraordinary people is often found in what they do when nobody is watching, when there is no applause, when there is no recognition, when there is no reward yet. That is where character is built. Because discipline is choosing what matters most over what feels easiest. Discipline is telling yourself, my future deserves my effort. Discipline is waking up and keeping promises you made to yourself. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence weakens. And every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Confidence is not something you wait to receive. Confidence is something you build through evidence. You become confident because you prove to yourself that you can trust yourself. Every morning is another opportunity to build that trust before the world tells you who you are. Decide who you are. Before problems speak louder than your dreams, remind yourself of your purpose. Before fear controls your actions, remind yourself that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward while fear is present. And today, you must make a decision. Will you continue living by default, or will you begin living by design? Because a life without intention is a life controlled by circumstances. But a life with purpose is a life guided by choice. And every morning, you have the opportunity to choose again. Choose growth, choose discipline, choose responsibility. Choose the person you are becoming. Because the moment you understand that your future is created by your daily decisions, you stop waiting for life to change and you begin changing the way you approach life itself. Because the truth is, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself every single day. Most people wake up and immediately ask, what problems will I have to face today? Successful people wake up and ask, what opportunities can I create today? Most people look at obstacles and see a reason to stop. But a person with a growth mindset looks at obstacles and asks, what is this moment trying to teach me? The same situation can break one person and build another. Why? Because the situation is not always the deciding factor. The meaning you give to that situation is what shapes your response. Let me tell you something. Two people can lose the same opportunity. One person says, my life is over. Nothing works for me. The other person says, this door closed because there is another lesson I need to learn before the next door opens. Same event, different mindset, different future. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess, but only if you learn to control it. A person who cannot control their thoughts will eventually become controlled by their circumstances. Every morning, before the noise of the world enters your mind, you must decide what beliefs you will carry with you. You must remind yourself that you are not here to simply react to life. You are here to create your life. Think about this for a moment. A ship without a destination can have the strongest engine in the world, but it will still be lost. The same is true for a person without direction. You can have talent. You can have intelligence. You can have ambition. But without a clear vision, your energy gets wasted. You must know where you are going. Because clarity creates power. When you know your purpose, distractions become easier to ignore. When you know your mission, temporary pleasures lose their control over you. When you know what you are building, you stop being impressed by things that do not matter. Here's what most people don't understand. Your greatest competition is not another person. Your greatest competition is the weaker version of yourself that wants comfort, excuses, and easy choices. Every day, there is a battle happening inside you. One voice says, stay comfortable. Another voice says, become better. One voice says, you have tried enough. Another voice says, you are just getting started. One voice says, nobody will notice your effort. Another voice says, your character is being built even when nobody sees. The person you become is determined by which voice you choose to follow. I learned something years ago. Motivation can start the journey, but discipline is what carries you through the difficult seasons. Because there will be days when you feel inspired. There will be mornings when your dreams feel close. There will be moments when everything seems possible. But there will also be days when progress feels invisible. Days when you work hard and see no results. Days when you make sacrifices and nobody appreciates them. Those moments are not signs that you should quit. Those moments are the test. Successa asks every person the same question. Do you only work when it is easy? Or do you work because your commitment is stronger than your emotions? Anyone can take action when they feel excited. The rare person takes action when they feel tired. Anyone can stay focused when everything is going well. The disciplined person stays focused when life becomes difficult. That is where separation happens. That is where ordinary people become extraordinary. Because success is not built in comfort. Success is built in consistency. A person who takes small actions every day will eventually pass the person who waits for the perfect moment. And the perfect moment does not exist. There is only the moment you have. There is only today. There is only the decision in front of you. You have to stop waiting until you feel ready. Many people spend years preparing to begin, but they never begin. They wait for more money. They wait for more confidence. They wait for more knowledge. They wait for the perfect circumstances. But life does not reward waiting. Life rewards movement. You learn by doing, you become confident by taking action. You become capable by challenging yourself. You become stronger by carrying responsibilities that once felt impossible. Imagine a person who wants to become physically strong. They do not become strong by watching others exercise. They become strong by showing up, lifting the weight, feeling the resistance, and repeating the process. Your mind works the same way. Every challenge is a mental weight. Every difficult decision is an opportunity to strengthen yourself. Every uncomfortable moment is a chance to expand your capacity. The person who avoids every challenge remains the same person. The person who embraces challenges transforms. This is why you must be careful about the stories you tell yourself. Because your life follows the story you believe. If you constantly tell yourself, I am unlucky, you will search for proof that life is against you. If you tell yourself, I am learning, I am growing, I am improving, you begin to search for opportunities. Your beliefs become your filter. Your beliefs determine what you notice. Your beliefs influence what you attempt. Your beliefs shape your identity. And identity is powerful because people often act according to who they believe they are. A person who believes they are lazy will continue making lazy choices. A person who believes they are disciplined will protect their discipline. A person who believes they are capable will keep searching for ways to improve. So every morning, do not only ask yourself what you want to achieve, ask yourself, who am I becoming? Because goals are temporary, but identity lasts. You do not want to simply achieve success. You want to become the kind of person who naturally creates success. You do not want temporary motivation. You want permanent transformation. You do not want to force yourself forever. You want to build habits that become part of who you are. A person who reads every day becomes a knowledgeable person. A person who saves every day becomes a financially responsible person. A person who practices discipline every day becomes a powerful person. Your actions are votes for the person you are becoming. Every decision is a vote. Every habit is a vote. Every morning routine is a vote. And eventually, those votes create your identity. There was a man I once heard about who spent years working a job he disliked. Every morning he complained about his situation. He blamed his company, his economy, his background, and everyone around him. One day, an older mentor asked him a simple question. If your life continues exactly the way it is right now for the next 10 years, will you be happy with where you end up? That question changed everything. Because sometimes the most powerful moment in life is not when someone gives you an answer. It is when someone asks you the right question. He realized that nobody was coming to rescue him. Nobody was going to magically create his future. The responsibility belonged to him. So he started small. He read for 30 minutes every morning. He learned new skills after work. He improved his health. He became more disciplined with his time. The transformation was not instant. There was no magical overnight success. But something powerful happened. He changed the direction of his life. And when direction changes, eventually destination changes. Never underestimate the power of a person who decides to take responsibility, because responsibility is where power begins. The moment you stop blaming, you start building. The moment you stop making excuses, you start finding solutions. The moment you stop waiting for permission, you start creating opportunities. Every morning, remind yourself, my future is built by what I do today, not someday, not when conditions are perfect, not when everyone supports me. Today. Because tomorrow is created by the actions you take while nobody is watching. The world celebrates results. But results are only the visible part of the iceberg. Underneath every achievement is discipline. Underneath every success is sacrifice. Underneath every victory is a person who decided many times not to give up. And that decision is available to you every single morning when you open your eyes and choose what kind of person you will be for the next 24 hours. Because the greatest investment you will ever make is not in possessions, not in status, not in things that can disappear. The greatest investment you will ever make is the investment you make in yourself. The greatest investment you will ever make is the investment you make in yourself. Because everything you build in life begins with the person you are becoming. Your skills, your knowledge, your discipline, your character, your mindset, these are the foundations that nobody can take away from you. A person can lose money and rebuild it. A person can lose an opportunity and create another one. A person can experience failure and rise again. But if a person loses the desire to improve, if they stop learning, if they stop growing, if they stop believing in their own ability to change, then they have surrendered the greatest power they possess, the power to transform. Let me tell you something. The world does not change because you wish for a better life. The world changes when you become a better person capable of creating a better life. Many people spend years asking, why is life not giving me what I want? But a wiser question is, what am I becoming that deserves the things I want? Because life often gives you what you are prepared to handle. You may desire success, but are you prepared for the responsibility that comes with success? You may desire wealth, but have you developed the discipline to manage wealth? You may desire influence, but have you developed the character to use influence wisely? The reward is connected to the person you become. That is why personal development is not something you do occasionally. It is a lifestyle. Every morning is another opportunity to sharpen yourself. Every morning is another chance to improve your thinking. Every morning is another chance to become more disciplined than you were yesterday. Think about a knife. A knife that is never sharpened eventually becomes useless. The same thing happens to the human mind. If you stop learning, you become limited. If you stop challenging yourself, you become comfortable. If you stop improving, you slowly lose the ability to adapt. And life rewards those who adapt. The person who continues learning will always have opportunities. The person who continues growing will always find new possibilities. The person who continues improving will never be trapped by yesterday's version of themselves. Here's what most people don't understand. Your future does not need you to be perfect. Your future needs you to be committed. Perfection creates fear. Commitment creates progress. Too many people never begin because they are afraid of making mistakes. They want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity. But every successful person you admire was once a beginner. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every confident person was once uncertain. The difference is they started before they felt completely ready. They learned through action. They improved through experience. They became stronger through challenges. You cannot think your way into becoming a different person. You must act your way into becoming a different person. Your actions teach your mind what is possible. Every time you do something difficult, you send a message to yourself, I am capable. Every time you keep a commitment, you send a message, I can trust myself. Every time you overcome resistance, you send a message, I am stronger than my excuses. And those messages create a powerful identity. A person with a strong identity does not need constant motivation. They have standards. They know what they do. They know what they refuse to do. They know the type of person they are committed to becoming, because successful people are not successful because they have no weaknesses. They are successful because they refuse to allow their weaknesses to control their lives. Everyone has moments of doubt. Everyone has moments of fear. Everyone has moments where the easier choice looks attractive The difference is what happens next. Do you surrender to the feeling, or do you remember the promise you made to yourself? Do you follow your temporary emotions, or do you follow your long-term vision? This is the battle every person must learn to win. The battle between instant pleasure and future achievement. The battle between comfort today and freedom tomorrow. The battle between who you are and who you can become. Let me ask you something. How many dreams have been abandoned because someone chose comfort? How many ideas were never created because someone feared criticism? How many opportunities disappeared because someone waited for confidence instead of building confidence? You see, confidence is not found. Confidence is created. It is created every time you show up, every time you practice, every time you try again after disappointment, every time you stand back up after falling. A person who keeps promises to themselves develops a strength that cannot be easily shaken. They walk differently. They think differently. They approach problems differently. Because deep inside, they know something powerful. I have faced difficult things before, and I survived. That belief changes everything, because your past victories become evidence for your future courage. Remember the moments you thought you could not handle, the challenges you thought were impossible, the seasons you thought would never end. But you made it through. You learned. You adapted. You grew. And the same person who survived those moments is the person standing here today. Do not underestimate yourself. Many people look at their current situation and judge their entire future. They look at where they are and assume it is where they will always be. But a seed does not look impressive before it becomes a tree. A foundation does not look beautiful before the building rises. The beginning of something great often looks ordinary. The first day of a new habit looks small. The first page of a new book looks small. The first step toward a dream looks small. But small beginnings can create extraordinary endings. The problem is people often quit during the invisible stage, the stage where effort is happening but results are not visible yet. They plant the seed, water it for a few days, and then walk away because they do not see a tree. But growth happens beneath the surface before it appears above the surface. Your discipline is working before your results arrive. Your consistency is building something before anyone notices. Your effort is creating a future you cannot yet see. This is why patience is a powerful success skill, not passive waiting, active patience. The patience of someone who continues working while trusting the process. The patience of someone who understands that great things take time. Look at anything valuable in life. A strong relationship takes time. A successful career takes time. A healthy body takes time. A powerful mind takes time. Everything meaningful requires investment. But we live in a world that constantly teaches people to seek shortcuts. People want results without effort, rewards without responsibility, success without sacrifice. But life does not work that way. The law of cause and effect cannot be avoided. You plant, then you harvest. You prepare, then you perform. You learn, then you apply. You work, then you achieve. The harvest always reveals the quality of the seeds you planted. So be careful what you plant every morning. Are you planting discipline? Are you planting courage? Are you planting knowledge? Are you planting positive thoughts? Or are you planting excuses, fear, and doubt? Because whatever you repeatedly feed will eventually grow. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are seeds. Your habits are the water. Your actions are the sunlight. And over time, something will grow. The question is, what are you choosing to grow? Because every morning when you wake up, you are given another chance to choose the direction of your life. Another chance to become more intentional. Another chance to take control of the story you are writing. And the person who understands this begins to see mornings differently. Morning is not just the beginning of another day. Morning is the beginning of another opportunity to become stronger than yesterday. Because every sunrise is asking you a question that only your actions can answer. Because every sunrise is asking you a question that only your actions can answer. Will you become the person you dream about becoming? Or will you continue living as the person you have always been? And that question is not answered by your words. It is answered by your choices. It is answered by what you do when nobody is watching. It is answered by whether you choose discipline when comfort is calling your name. It is answered by whether you continue when the journey becomes difficult. Remember this, your future self is watching the decisions you make today. The person you want to become is depending on the actions you take right now, the stronger version of you, the wiser version of you, the successful version of you. That person is not created someday in the future. That person is being created today. Every morning you have a choice. You can wake up and allow life to control you, or you can wake up and decide that you will take control of your life. You can focus on what is missing, or you can focus on what you can build. You can complain about the obstacles, or you can become the person who overcomes them. You can continue making excuses, or you can make progress, because excuses may protect your comfort, but they will never protect your dreams. Your dreams require a stronger version of you. They require commitment. They require patience. They require courage. They require you to believe that your future is worth fighting for. Let me tell you something. There will be days when nobody believes in your vision. There will be days when your progress feels too slow. There will be days when you question whether all your effort is worth it. But those are the moments when your character is being shaped. Anybody can work hard when success is guaranteed. Anybody can stay motivated when everything is easy, but the person who continues during uncertainty, the person who keeps moving during difficulty, the person who chooses discipline over excuses, that person becomes unstoppable. Do not measure your success only by how far you have gone. Measure it by how much you have grown. Measure it by how many times you refuse to quit. Measure it by how many times you chose the harder right path instead of the easier wrong one, because success is not only about reaching a destination. Success is about becoming someone you respect along the way, someone who keeps promises, someone who takes responsibility, someone who learns from failure, someone who gets back up after every fall. The world does not need a perfect person. The world needs a committed person. A person who wakes up every morning and says, I may not have everything figured out yet, but I am improving. I may not be where I want to be yet, but I am moving forward. I may face challenges, but I will not surrender. That mindset changes everything, because your circumstances do not have the final authority over your life. Your response does, your decisions do, your discipline does. Never forget the power of one day. One day can change your direction. One decision can change your future. One habit can change your identity. One moment of courage can open a door you never imagined. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Stop waiting until you feel completely ready. Start where you are. Use what you have. Improve one step at a time. Because the person who begins today is already ahead of the person who only plans to begin tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, begin again. Wake up. Remind yourself of your purpose. Remind yourself of your potential. Remind yourself that your dreams are not built by wishes. They are built by daily actions. The small choices, the quiet sacrifices, the disciplined mornings. The moments when you choose growth instead of comfort. One day, you will look back and realize that the life you wanted was not created in one giant moment. It was created in thousands of small moments when you decided not to give up. So today, make a promise to yourself. A promise that you will respect your potential. A promise that you will stop negotiating with your excuses. A promise that you will keep growing even when the journey feels difficult, because inside you is more strength than you realize. Inside you are abilities you have not discovered yet. Inside you is the capacity to build, to learn, to overcome, and to create a life that reflects the person you truly want to become. The next chapter of your life will not be written by your past. It will be written by the decisions you make from this moment forward. So wake up with purpose, walk with confidence, work with discipline, learn with humility. And remember, every morning is a new opportunity to become stronger, a new opportunity to become wiser, a new opportunity to become the person your future is waiting for. Your journey begins with one thought, one choice, one action, and that action begins today.